Phenomenon. Colding.
Hi guys, welcome back to Life's Deceit with me, your girl, Jen Simpson. Guys, before we start, please click the like, subscribe button, and before the end of this video, please leave your girl a comment. Leave a comment. How you like my hair? How have I been doing? Rate me. Well, I don't want you to rate me because sometimes you guys can be brutal. But welcome back to Life's Deceit. How are you guys doing? How is your week? How was your morning? How was your afternoon, your night, wherever you are in the world? Hello, guys. I hope that you guys had a fantastic week, a weekend, wherever you are in the week, because I know different time zones. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, a.m., p.m. for you guys. I hope that you guys are having an amazing week. January is almost complete. Woo! We made it. We are almost complete in January and we're about to step into February. February is Black History Month. We're going to celebrate Black history because Black history is every day. 24/7, 365, 362. We're going to celebrate. Ooh, we're going to celebrate. Okay, so we're almost into February. Guys, we made it through. We're almost there. Finished almost January. We're about to step into Love Month, Black History Month, February. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Guys, today's topic is, it's a topic that, some people don't want to talk about. Some people are chit-chatting about. People are judging. I'm daring. And I want to chit-chat about this topic because I went through it. And, when you've gone through something and you see the comments and you see what's going on, you got to say something. I'm not going to say too much, but I'm going to say something. Oh, guys, guess what? I forgot to tell you before we get into this topic. Guess what? Come a little closer. I'm dropping 2 ebooks in February and my planner. The planner is called the 365 Thrive. Soulful Thrive, guys. We are going to thrive all year long. And this planner is going to teach you from step by step by step, day by day, how to thrive. Thrive in health, thrive in your meals, thrive in your fitness, thrive in your goal planning, thrive in making vision boards. Guys, we're going to thrive to success. We're not just going to survive. We are going to survive, thrive, make it success. So, guys, enough jokes from me. We are talking about a topic that's been going on in the media. And reason why I wanted to, discuss this topic is because one of the reasons why I started this podcast, Life's Deceit, is because of the deceitful things that we experience and we hear. Let's be honest. How many times have you heard people say, if a girl got raped, what did she do? Why didn't she fight back? It's her fault. She could have done this. She could have done that. Da, 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 da. People who aren't in the situation or people who haven't experienced it before always are full of chat too much. They're always talking. They're talking about what could have been done. Why was it wrong? Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you tell somebody? They have the most to say, but they've never experienced it. They were never in the situation. They were never present. They've never spoke to you personally about it. They never spoke to the other person, the person who did it. But they're always full of words and so much when they've never experienced it, right? How many times have you heard people judge women who have, stripped, been prostitutes? They automatically say, oh, this person, ew, they must have went through something traumatic. They must have been gross. Ew, why would you do that? But they have no idea why you did it. They're just automatically assuming and judging that they know everything. They know it all. They know it all. If you did that, then you caused it on yourself. If you did We tired of people talking when they don't know, right? So life's deceit was stemmed around the misconceptions and the things that we hear from society, and we believe it, we run with it, we automatically stick to it because that's what we heard. So automatically, you know what, it has to be the truth because this person said it, so because they said it, it's the truth, because it came from this source, it means it's the truth, right? So that's where it came from. Because for me, when I went through being molested and, not knowing what to do, I would have never talked about it. I was told, make sure when you get your husband or your boyfriend, don't tell them about it because they're gonna look at you as no good. They're not gonna wanna start a family with you. They're gonna write you off. They're gonna start questioning and saying that it's your fault. Oh God, I heard it all. I heard it all to the point where it blocked me up. I didn't even want to talk about it. I was afraid to talk about it because I was like, oh my gosh, if I talk about it, I'm not gonna have a man. If I talk about it, he's gonna judge me. If I talk about it, he's probably gonna try to hurt me too. I was afraid to tell anybody. And when I told my mother, to be honest with you, I was afraid to tell her because I could already tell that she was very desperate, desperate for the love of her family. And she didn't want to ruffle any feathers with her family because already her partner that she had chosen, her family did not approve of him. So she was always working overtime, doing things, even if she knew that it was against her morals to make her family happy. So at the time, I was contemplating, okay, if I tell her, what's going to happen? She's not going to believe me. If I tell her, then what? That was always the question. Then what? Because my mom was always going through something with my stepfather. She was always consumed, and her energy was busy being poured into him and their relationship and fighting for the relationship, and it was really toxic. So I knew that, me bringing that forward to her, I knew it was going to cause problems, so I didn't know what to do. So there was times where I try to give her a little hint, hoping that my mother knew me enough to say something's not up with my daughter. But instead, her blinders were on. They were like, something's going on, but I'm gonna peep out, but I'm not gonna pay attention too much, right? So when I finally decided to, I had enough. I have to tell. I can't go on like this anymore. The result that I already knew was gonna happen happened. Okay, it happened in such an embarrassing and shameful way that I didn't know if I was gonna survive from it. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to take the bag off my face. Like I literally put an imaginary bag on my face and said, "Oh my gosh, God, just stifle me. I don't want to come out of this bag." And it was hard. It was a hard situation because sometimes you can already prejudge what's going to happen, and because you already know, okay, this person is this way, and their reaction is going to be this way, you don't want to come out. So what I've been seeing in the media is, there's a lot of stories coming out now about children being molested, women coming out, men coming out saying, you know what, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, doesn't matter how long ago it was, I was sexually assaulted or molested by this person. I was physically abused. I was locked in this relationship that I couldn't come out of. And they're coming out now and they're talking about what they experienced. They're talking about, the trauma, um, the mental strain. And, you know, the hardest part for somebody who survived and then achieved and then thrived is reading comments. 'Cause a lot of people believe that, okay, fine, you already went through it, you can handle these comments. No, a lot of people, they went through the healing process, they went through therapy, but they're still triggered. They are still triggered by these things when they read things and people are judging them and people are saying these horrific things about them, and you don't know them, right? You have no idea what they go through in the night. You have no idea what they go through with their family. And then again, you're re-triggering them, you're tearing them down with words, you're bashing them, you're defaming them. You literally have to have a strong mindset to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to let these comments and these judgments break me down, or bring me back to a place that I was before. I'm not looking back. If I'm looking back to say, girl, I'm proud of you. Ooh, boy, I'm proud of you. Look at what you thrived through. Look at that success on you. It looks good, right? So I've been seeing all these things in the media where, things are coming out. I'm not going to call any names, guys, but I know that you guys see the things that are coming out, with, celebrities, people that have high position standards. Their names are strong names in the community. Um, and people are coming out and talking about what they went through with that person because they feel like it's the right time to do it. And I came across some comments where people are like, you're lying. She's lying. She just wants money. Why did it take you 10 years? Why did it take you 15 years? Why did it take you so long to come out and talk about it now? And then you see the comments where people are like, okay, well, if you went through that, how could you go through that for so long and you didn't do nothing? Nobody knew about it? You didn't fight back? Why did you take so long? Okay, well, if you went through something so traumatic, then why is the person not going to jail? Why are you suing for money? The questions are why? And automatically people start saying, I don't believe because this person can get XYZ. This person went out with this person. This person was married to that person. This person has so much money. Why would they rape a girl? Why would they rape a man? Why would they sexually assault somebody? Just because somebody has money, just because somebody looks good, just because somebody sounds good, just because somebody's of a certain caliber, just because somebody's on a certain level or status, does not mean that they're not capable of doing that very thing that you can't even envision them doing. Me brace myself, okay? Because one of the things that for me, I'll give you my experience. One of the things that were said to me was, when I came out about my uncle was, oh, him a jealous. Why would I do that? Him a jealous. And I was like, how does that even match up to somebody doing something? Because they are jealous, they sleep with multiple women, they have, you know, different girlfriends, they have a girlfriend, mean that they're not capable of killing somebody? I don't think so. Because somebody has money means that they're not capable of stealing? I don't think so. Because somebody is, let's just say, a Christian, or a person that's in church, or a person that is a person that has high morals and doesn't believe in certain things. Let's just say a person says, well, I don't believe in cheating. Does that mean that that person doesn't have the capability of cheating? Let's really start acting like we have sense. And for the people who have experienced something like this, where people are throwing stones at you, people are throwing words at you, people are trying to tear you down and defame you and say, well, you're lying, nothing like that happened because I know this person so well. Listen, stand on your toes, stand strong, and stay in the word. You have to find your own power words to speak into yourself, to build yourself up, because people are going to say whatever they want to say, because misery loves company. Nobody knows your story but you. Nobody knows what you went through but you, because you're the person that was in the situation, not them. So don't allow the words of people to tear you down. Don't allow people's judgment to throw you off your path and your mission. Because I believe that everything that we go through in life is for a purpose and a reason. And the purpose is not just for ourselves, the purpose is for other people. Because remember, other people are going through things that we've experienced. There are people who have gone through things in life and they don't know how they're going to overcome it. And they're looking for people like you to be a voice. They're looking for people like you that are going to be a reminder, a roadmap for them to know that they will get out, to guide them on that path, to acknowledge, accept, forgive themselves, and start their own healing process. Because it's not easy when you go through things in life, and because, somebody has a big name or they have a lot of family, and when people look at you in a certain light or look at them in a certain light, automatically you're the person that they're going to try to shame and be like, well, I don't believe you. There's going to be 10,000 people, a million people that won't believe you. But don't waver. And for the people who have caused victims or, survivors, thrivers, pain, I don't necessarily think that you guys are bad people. I think that everybody goes through things in life. I feel like there's a point in our life where, there's this version of us, and then we gradually go into a different version of ourselves, and then another version of ourselves. So now when you're in your now version and people are saying, well, this is what you did to me in the past, you're like, hold up, no, I didn't. Because you can't think and you can't remember that that's what you did to somebody, because that's not you now. So you can't even imagine who you were in the past. Example, I went to a rib fest, and I saw this girl that I went to high school with, and I said to her, oh, hey, like I would have said, oh, hey, Shelly Ann, how you doing? And she's like, Janelle? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you're saying hi to me? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, no, wait, Janelle? And in my head now, I'm like, girl, you already said my name was Janelle. We know my name is Janelle. Yes, Janelle Simpson. What up? And she goes, you're saying hi to me, Janelle? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And she says, in high school, I always remember that you hung out with the popular kids, and they would make fun of me, and you weren't the nicest either. So I said, me? I said, no way. I said, me. Like, I literally had to say me twice because I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, girl, you so a lie. What? Let me look at my time now, because my time's telling me the wrong time too. No, seriously, guys, my time, can you guys see it? Is wrong right now. But what I'm saying is, I'm like, no, girl, you lying on me. Why are you lying on me? But listen, I didn't dismiss her feelings. I didn't dismiss her memory. And what I automatically said to her was, you know what? I don't really remember the high school version of myself, but I know the version of myself now. And the version of myself now wants to apologize to you for anything that I did to you in the past, anything I said, anything I did not do, or anything that I condone, because that is not me now. And funny enough, sometimes we don't know what people's reaction is going to be to it. People will be like, what do you mean you don't remember? How can you not remember? And then they just start going at you, right? But her reaction was automatically, okay, you know what? You apologized and you were honest. And she received it. And I'm glad that she received it, because a lot of times we do things that we don't remember that we did. We may know that we did something, but we don't remember exactly how it happened, right? And I've been seeing some negative comments, and like I said, I've seen people write, well, why did it take you so long? Let me tell you something. It's a silly question to ask, but I understand that people ask certain questions that we think is silly. Um, when you go through something, and like, just imagine you're in a relationship with somebody, and you've been in that relationship with somebody for 10, 12 years, right? And every time everybody sees you with that person, they see the happy go lucky you, all smiles, and that person's happy. You guys, you're telling your friends and your family, oh my gosh, I'm so happy with this person. This person's my whole world. It's my soulmate. And in the beginning, you're telling everybody that because you really believe that this person was your soulmate. You really believe that this person was it. You really believe that this person was your person for life. You were going to get married, have children, live in the big house, all that good stuff, right? Then you realize you're unhappy because you feel like you're being neglected in the relationship. Um, the person doesn't cater to you. The person always puts you down. Then it becomes physically abusive. Now, let's be honest. You just bragged about this person, how you love this person so much. They're your world. You're going to get married. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And then now you have to tell everybody, I'm not happy. Your relationship's abusive. Um, I don't know what to do. Automatically, let me tell you something. We are human first. Human. We live by the flesh, flesh, flesh first, not the spirit. So the flesh is going to say to them, okay, start judging because, girl, you made it seem like your man was all this and that and da 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 da. And they're going to make it seem like you bragged about this guy that wasn't shit, or vice versa. Now you're going to be picking down your brain and trying to figure out how you're going to come out publicly and say, guys, I'm going through it at home. Chances are you're not going to want to do that, right? You're not going to want to do that because you don't want the judgment. You don't want to hear people telling you, I told you so. You should have made sure he was this first. You should have did a background check. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it from anybody. So chances are you're going to keep it to yourself. You're either going to tolerate it and try to make it work, or you're going to plan your escape and then tell everybody after the fact. That's the same thing as people who have been molested and raped. I think one of the hardest things for me was having to repeat my story to everybody in my family. Um, feeling embarrassed, having to say it publicly in front of everybody made me feel disgusted. Um, Standing in front of everybody, aunts, uncles, and saying to them what was happening to me. That was the first time I've ever been embarrassed in my life. And then after feeling embarrassed, you felt shamed because to sit there and listen to your mother tell you that you should retract your story and blatantly tell you in your face that she's going to take her family's side over yours was the biggest heartbreak. Because for me, I don't know about anybody else, but my belief is, and what I do as a parent, as a mother, as a nurturer, as a protector for my children, their feelings come first, always. I'm always in protection mode. If my kids come to me and say, Mom, this happened, I am going to sit down with them and talk to them and try to figure out, first, how are you feeling? And how did it make you feel? And I realized that a lot of people they lack that, right? They lack that empathy because they never received it as a child from their own parent, and they end up picking up those same traits and qualities from childhood. And when you don't know how to respond to something, you usually reject it, and that's what I went through, rejection, and that's what's going on right now. It's a lot of people are judging what they don't know. They're making assumptions, thinking, okay, well, you took too long. If it were me, I would have done this. If it were you, what would you really have done? Because I don't even think if it were you, you'd be able to handle it. So let's be honest. Everybody always says, well, if it were me, I would have done this. I would have done that differently. If it were me that were in an abusive relationship, I would have done this to the boy. I would have done this to the girl. Let's be honest. You don't even know what you would have done because you've never been in the situation to know what you would have done. So a lot of people who have been molested, abused, raped, they take a long time to come out because it took a long time for them to heal. It took a long time for them to accept what they went through, acknowledge it, and then forgive and learn to love themselves again. Have you ever had to heal from anything before? Leave me a comment. Tell me if you ever had to heal from anything before. Because if you did, then you'd understand that that process is hard. And the process of now finding peace to be able to come out and be like, well, you know what? This is what I went through, and I don't want anybody else to go through it. Not my children, not my family members, not a stranger. Now, that's another piece of puzzle. That's another piece of the pie that a lot of you can't understand because you choose not to understand. So before we make assumptions and assume that we know and point fingers and start calling people liars and be like, well, you're lying. That's not true. You waited 15 years. How could that make true? How could that be true? You waited 15 years. How could you remember what happened? Listen, it doesn't matter how long ago you went through something. You'll remember. Maybe you may not remember everything piece by piece. You may not remember the time. You may not remember exactly every detail, but you will remember. That's not something you just forget. You will remember. So they remember. Do you remember your first time? Leave a comment. Do you remember your first time? Because I'm pretty sure you do. And maybe for some of you, that may have been 20, 30 years ago. So how do you remember that? Because you're saying that victims or survivors who've gone through molestation or rape can't remember. That was 20 years ago. How do you remember? How do you remember half the stuff that you've been through? Some of you guys tell stories from when you guys were 5 years old. How do you remember? How do you remember? That's what I thought, right? So I think that a lot of people right now, instead of assuming you know just because you've heard the name all over before, you know the person, don't assume that you know anybody. Because there's different sides to everybody. And I've learned that. There's different sides to everybody. There are people that have different versions of themselves when they're behind closed doors with their partners, when they're with their friends, when they're with their family, when they're at work, and when they're by themselves. Most people are still wearing a mask. When you get to work, you put on your coat of armor. I gotta act this way when I'm at work. But when you're in the club, you act completely different, right? I'm pretty sure the way that you act when you're around your friend, you don't go to work and act that way. Everybody has different sides. Let's not assume that we know or we understand something when we've never been through it. We've never personally sat down and spoke to the person. You never read the court documents. You weren't in the room. You weren't wherever. Let's not assume. Instead, let's give grace and extend love to both parties. How many of our parties there that are involved in it? Send love. Because there's a lot of people who did things 15 years ago and they're no longer that person. We want to be mad at them, but a lot of people, they already forgave them because they're a different person, but you're still healing. Then there's this other thing is why take the money instead of sending the person to jail? Statutory limitation. Look it up. Some people are still going through their healing process. Some people haven't worked in years because of what they went through. Yeah, it sounds wrong to some, but each to their own. I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, because they brought up a situation and I said, ew, that's gross. And the person said to me, well, wait, let's think about this again. You think it's gross, but they may not think it's gross. You may think it's morally wrong, but they don't think it's morally wrong. So how do we know who's living right and who's not living right? You cannot judge or speak on things that you don't know and you don't understand and you've never experienced. That's why a lot of people, when they're going through silent battles, they don't go to people with their silent battles because they already know first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is judgment. And they don't want to hear the judgment. They're looking for an unbiased opinion from somebody who's going to be like, you know what? I've been through that before. And how did I get through it? This is how I got through it. X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. They're looking for the roadmap. And they have to go to people who've been through it before to get that roadmap, to get that healing tool. For me, I didn't have that person I can go to for that healing tool. So I went through a whole process of thinking, ooh, I found my boyfriend. My boyfriend's about to heal me. He's about to bandage me up and make me feel good. Now I have to think about anything that I went through in the past. Boy, was I wrong. Because, you get re traumatized because, as a young girl, you start dating and you think that, okay, well, this is it. This is the perfect guy, but you don't realize that, that perfect guy that you think is the perfect guy comes with trauma and comes with things too that will wake up things inside of you because you didn't tell your partner what you've gone through. So when they're waking up things inside of you, they have no idea. All this stuff that's coming out, there is a time for everything. There's saying that we always say everything that happens in darkness must come to light. And I feel like everybody right now is working on themselves. Everybody's working on their higher self. And working on your higher self means being honest with yourself about the things that you went through so that you can heal and start living the life that you're supposed to live. Start walking in your purpose. And a lot of people are doing that right now. And it requires work. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It could take you 15 years to come out and be like, you know what, I did this and I apologize and I'm looking for forgiveness. It could take you 20 years to come out and be like, well, I experienced this and I hid it from my family and my friends and my loved ones because I didn't want to feel shame. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be labeled. And a lot of people that are coming out about what they experienced and what they went through didn't want to be labeled. They didn't want to be labeled as, the girl that said this, the guy that said this, the person. They didn't want to be labeled as that. And they had to find the peace in themselves to be able to come out and be like, well, this is what I went through. And I'm no longer afraid, because when you've gone through something and you're afraid of telling somebody, you hide from your own self. But the moment that you say, you know what, I own my power and take it back, it's a whole different ball game. So, you see all these things that are coming out, don't judge, because you never know if you have a family member that's gone through it and they are literally clinching to let it out, but they can't because they already know where you stand on certain things and they can't come to you for advice. They can't come to you to vent. They can't help. They cannot come to you for any source of information or support because they know that you are not an unbiased person. You're going to automatically judge them. You're going to automatically pick at them, pick at their story instead of listening. And of course, there are cases where, people have told lies and, held back pieces of the information. But still, I stand on what I say. Stay out of it. If you don't know, just watch it unfold. Don't pass judgment on things that you don't understand, things that you've never gone through, things that you don't know anybody's gone through before. We all have a story. Don't hold back your story because you're afraid that people are going to judge you. Do the work that you need to do. Do the legwork. Acknowledge the things that you've gone through. Embrace them. Embrace yourself. Coddle yourself. Tell yourself that I love me. I forgive me. I am not my experience. I own my power and I take it back and heal. Heal. If you need to go to therapy, counseling, coaching, whatever you need to do, there are so many resources out there. Get the help that you need and heal. Listen, people are going to say, they're going to say things about you whether or not you open up about it or you don't. They're going to form their own opinions, but guess what? Their opinions don't matter because you have to live through what you've gone through. They don't have to live your life. They don't have to sleep in the same bed as you. They don't have to live in your mind. You have to live in your mind. They don't have to live in your body. You live in your body. So let me ask you a question. Why do you give them any space in your mind to sit on your brain and trigger you and tell you how they feel about you? Their opinions don't matter. You're still fly. You're still phenomenal. You're still doing the thing. So I see all this thing go on in the media, and I just want to, say, guys, please extend grace and love and try to understand what you don't know. Do your research. That's one of the most hardest things to come out and say. A lot of people start judging, start assuming, well, why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you say something earlier? It doesn't feel good. But guys, we're going to dissect some things next week because I want to talk about, how do you feel when, your parents are supposed to be the first people that love you, your mom, your dad. And then when they turn their backs on you, what do you do? How do you feel? How do you go through that process of having a toxic relationship with your parents? Not being able to call mommy, I'm going through this. What's up? Can you give me some advice? Daddy, what do you do? How do you feel about it? Guys, thanks for tuning in with me today. I'm your host, Jen Simpson. And guys, please subscribe, like, comment, and follow. Share. Share with a friend. Share with a family member, guys. Come on. Show your girl some love. I be singing for you guys. I know you like me singing. Maybe I should get Leia to sing for you guys because y'all know I can't sing. But I always be trying to sing some songs for you guys like, I ain't Rihanna or Beyonce. Guys, until next time, I'm Jen Simpson, and thanks for tuning in to Life's Deceit. Mwah!
Phenomenous. Cold ink.